Good afternoon, guys. Adam here from Board at Home, and we are on our next episode of Jump In Let's Play. This week we are taking a look at Switch and Signal. This is a new release from Thames and Cosmos. Fantastic cooperative game. If you love train-based games, if you like the train theme, you will absolutely love this game. So the objective of the game is to get our trains from whichever starting location they're at to a city, to load up and then work their way down to the port city to unload their goods. As you can see on the board, it's not going to be as simple as that. We have got our switches, we've got signals, and we're going to have to manage these to be able to get our trains from whichever location they start at to our cities to load up and down to here. We're going to have to work as a team to be able to pull this off. So we'll just go through the rest of the setup, explain other bits on the board for you, and then we will get through, and hopefully we'll get to a point where we can get at least one train down to Marseille to show you how it all works. So up here we have 3 employees of the railway network. These people are able to help us in our quest to get the trains down to the port city. So this player here, this person here, he's going to allow us to re-roll the movement die for one of the trains. This one will allow us to move through cities if there's green signals on the 2 paths that lead in and out. If you go to a city, then normally, under normal rules, you'll have to stop there, regardless of whether there's cargo there or not. Finally, this player here, you choose a train colour, and then that train colour will not move for that turn, which is especially useful when it comes to these cards down here. Here we have some little tokens just to say when they've been used, so they can only be used once per game. When they get covered up and they can't be used again, so use them wisely. Here we have our clock tokens, so these will be removed from the board anytime certain things happen. Mostly it will be if a train needs to be deployed at a certain location, there's already a train deployed there, we lose 2 time tokens. We'll also lose time tokens if a train needs to move and can't move because there's a train in front of it, there's a red signal or there's a switch, then it will have to take off as many time tokens as remain in movement. That won't be the case if you go into a city, because you have to stop in cities, so you don't need to remove it there. Over here we have our action pile, so our actions will determine what we're able to do. So we have some of them here. In fact, we've got all 3 possible actions here. So this one will allow you on your turn to move any one train. So you just roll the dice for that train and then move it. This one will allow you to move switches. So for example, if we needed to get through this way, we could switch these rounds in any combination that we liked. We could move that there, we could move it there, for example. And then this one will allow us to move a green signal to another space on the board. So for example, if we needed to get down this route here, so we've got a red signal there, so we just take it from anywhere else on the board and place it there to open up the track for us. The other thing you can do with these is discard 2 of them to be able to perform any one of the viable 3 actions. And finally, the other action you can do is loading up your trains. So if you end in one of the cities where the goods are, you discard a card to be able to load up your train there. Down here we have the sort of games movement pile. So at the start of each person's turn, you will turn over the top card. This is our starting card, so this is what we will begin with. And on there, it will give you instructions as to what you need to do before you get to play your action card. So that will involve either trains moving or trains being deployed. If they're being deployed, you roll the 2 dice, and then whatever result comes up is where that train is deployed. And along the bottom here, we have the movement dice for each train. Finally, we've got our 3 coloured trains. We've got the black trains, these are the fastest. The sort of orange-brown ones, these are our medium trains. And grey, these are our slowest trains. You won't always be able to determine which ones come out. And there'll be benefits to all of them as the game goes on. Finally, each player is dealt 5 cards. On your turn, you get to use any of these actions as many times as you like. You can use all 5 cards if you would like to. The rulebook does recommend using all 5 cards. And at the end of your turn, you draw 5 cards from the deck. You can have a total of 10 cards in your hand. So if you didn't want to use a card because you feel it would be a waste of a go, then you can keep hold of it and you just draw another 5. So we'll begin with player on our left here. So they turn over the starting cards. Here it's just going to tell us that we're going to deploy 1 of each of these trains. Now for the first one, this is the only time that if you roll a number that a train's been deployed on already, that you just roll again, because we're setting it up, we're getting the trains out there. So our black train is going to be on number 7, so that brings us up here. Our brown train is going to be on number 6, so that brings us here. And then the grey train here is going to be on number 5. There we go. So all in the upper half of our European map here, and all fairly close to cities, so that is good. So those dice are done for now. And now we move to the first player. So they're going to take a look. You can discuss your hand with everyone else. You can discuss all your options. It is a fully cooperative game. So what we're going to do is say we're going to take this one, and we're going to say we're going to play this. So we're going to change a red signal to a green signal. So we're going to take that and place that there. Now we're going to move a train. So we're going to go to move this one here. So we roll its dice. So we roll 2. Now it feels like that's a low score, but as you will see on the dice, each dice will only go up to a certain amount. So we got 1 on the 1, 1 on the 4, 1 3, 2 3s and 2 2s. So it's not as bad a roll as you might think. So we got 1 2. We would have liked that 3 because that would have brought us straight into the city, but that's what we're going to do. So we're going to discard 2 as a wild. So that's going to allow us to move. So we just roll our dice again. We go there, and now we've got this one. We're going to discard it to load our train. So there is our train loaded up, and that's the end of our go. So we draw 5 cards. 1 2 3 4 5, and it is then the next player's turn. So before they do anything, we turn over this card here. Okay, so all black trains move and all orange trains move. So we do that in order. If there are multiple trains, you roll for them individually, but you determine the order that you do them before you roll. So if we had 3 black trains, you decide in which order you're going to move those and then roll the dice for each of them. So our black train up there is going to move 5. So let's see where we can go. 1 2 3 4 5. There we go. So he's right outside Amsterdam, so that is good for us. And then we're going to move our brown train here, this one. So this will be quite beneficial to us because you can see we've got the green signal there, and then we've got a fairly clean track all the way down to nearly outside Marseille. 2. So he's going to go 1 2. There we go. And now this player is going to take a look at their cards and see what they can do. So they've got 3 movement cards here. So what they could do is, let's discard that. Let's take that signal and put that there. They'll then move the black train into there. So he just goes in. We'll discard this one to load him up. And then we've got 2 cards left. So we're going to do that one to move that signal. And then this card, we're going to roll for the orange train, the brown train. See if we can get him further down here. 2. So 1, 2. There we go. So that is his go over. He's then going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. And then we move to the first player. So we turn over the cards, and what have we got? Okay, so this is quite a interesting one here. So we deploy a train of our colour. So we would discuss between us, what are we going to do? We might decide that we're going to deploy a black one. So that goes on number 10. Where is number 10? He is round here. We then pick one colour for each of these. What you can do with these is if one of these colours is in the depot, you can choose it, so you don't have to then move those trains, but we do have one of each colour, so we're going to need to decide which way round we want to do this. So the players might decide that they will move grey first, so we roll for grey. So he just moves 2, 1, 2. And then we decide what we want to do with the rest of these. So we'll say, let's move black. Let's move this one and this one up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. He stops right outside Berlin. And then this one here rolls a 4. So we're coming down this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are right behind our other train. But it looks like we should have 2 trains that will be able to get down to Marseille fairly soon. So, back to our first player. They're going to take a look at their cards. So we've got a lot of movement cards. We don't really need to do any switches yet, so let's just go through our movement cards. So let's roll for this orangey brown train. 2, 1, 2. We're going to discard 2 to move this signal here. We're going to roll again. Oh, wrong dice. 1, 2, and we'll roll again, see if we can get him into Marseille. No, he stops just shy of that. But that's the way the dice roll sometimes. Okay, so that's that player done. So we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to reveal the next card. So we've got deploy one of any colour, we move greys, and then we move oranges. So here we might decide that we want to do an orange. So we'll roll here to see where he comes out at number 9 here. Okay, so we have to move grey, we have to move orange. So we move the one grey one first. He moves 2, 1. Now he can't go into Paris because there's not a green signal there. So what will happen is that whatever's remaining on our movement die will be removed from our clock tower. So we remove 1 time token. If all of the time tokens are removed, it's not game over. All that will happen is that the top cards from this deck will be placed face down out of the game, effectively removing a turn from us. So it's quite a brutal card there. So this one here, let's move our newly deployed one. Hopefully we just get a 1 or 2. We've been rolling loads of 2s. 4. Okay, so we lose 2 tokens there. And you can see how as more trains are coming out, there's more sort of management that needs to be done, because we've now got to spread these actions across more cards. And then this one here, 2, so he goes there. What will happen is he will unload, and then this train will go back to the depot, ready to be deployed on a later turn. So that is how the game works. The idea is to get all of these tokens down to here. We've got the 8 spaces there before this deck runs out. If we get to the bottom of the deck and on your turn you have to draw a card and you can't, then the game ends immediately and you have lost. If you'd like to try again, because it is a good challenge and it's one that you definitely feel that you want to give another crack at, you can actually adjust the difficulty within the game. So you can remove cards from the deck, or more cards, because you have cards that are removed from the deck at the start. You can add more signals, you can add more time tokens, you can take more time tokens away, so you can adjust the level of complexity within the game. And then when you set up as well, you can set these up in any formation that you like. We use the diagram from the start of the rule book as a beginner's guide. But yes, that is Switch and Signal. If you have any questions at all about it, don't hesitate to ask. It is our game of the week, so we will be looking forward to doing some demos of this game. It is absolutely fantastic. I can't put it down. I've been playing it a lot recently. That's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, any questions, just leave them in the comments below or call us at the shop or visit us on Ramsgate High Street. Thank you, and we'll see you in the boardroom.